Got a lot of things going this week. First off, we're going to talk some NFL. Then we're going to talk some MLB. Then, for the first time ever in the Red Zone, we're going to talk some NASCAR. And then I'm going to break down the upcoming UFC 144 for you. Then, my fourth and goal. Good morning on the West Coast. Good afternoon on the East Coast. And right here in the heart of the Midwest, you're in the Red Zone. Let's get it started with my opening shots. Boom! The National Football League, commonly known as the NFL. Well, we have yet another chapter in the soap opera that I've come to term as the Manning turns. It seems that Colts wide receiver Reggie Wayne is expected to test the free agent market. Alright, seriously? He's going to test the market. No, he's not going to test the market. What it is he's going to sit back and wait and see if Peyton gets retained by the Colts. If he does, then he'll agree to re-sign for whatever he needs to re-sign for. Or he'll wait and see where Peyton goes and then try to get on with that team. This just absolutely reeks of a wide receiver waiting it out to see where his quarterback goes. He doesn't want to play with another quarterback. He doesn't want to play under Andrew Luck. He wants to play with Peyton Manning. That's loyalty. I think it's misplaced because, let's be honest, you go where the money is, Reggie. You go where the money is. It's the NFL. It's the biggest cash cow in the entire country. You go where the money is. You don't follow your quarterback. Next up, well, you guys knew I was going to be talking some more MLB because it is time. The spring training has begun, so boom! Major League Baseball. Well, the performance-enhancing bungle, as I'm now calling it, has finally been unearthed. Ryan Braun is going to get no suspension whatsoever due to an appeal. Apparently, whoever took the sample for PED testing, it's hard to tell. There's been like two different conflicting reports. One report says that it was in his fridge. Another report says that it sat on his desk all weekend. Either way, the sample was handled improperly, which automatically throws out the PED positive test. So Ryan Braun gets no suspension. He's off the hook. There's two things here. One, this makes Major League Baseball look incredibly stupid because you're supposed to be doing this and you can't manage the people who are doing it. That's not good at all. It's kind of turned the whole PED testing thing into a running joke at this point. From Ryan Braun's point of view, now there's always going to be a question. There's always going to be that one question mark. It doesn't matter if the fact that he passed 25 drug tests before this doesn't matter. For the rest of his career, he's going to be trying to save face, but every time he tries, he's going to hear the same thing. Well, you only got off because somebody improperly handled the sample. Whether he's innocent or not, that's what he's going to deal with for the rest of his career. It's not going to hurt his career any, but it is going to hurt his public image. Speaking of another bungle by Major League Baseball, Manny Ramirez got a 100-game suspension, then retired. Well, now he's wanting to come back. Who didn't see that coming? Well, Major League Baseball is gonna be nice, and they're gonna say, well, you retired, so we'll take 50 games off of it. That's bogus. You do not retire just to get out of a suspension. You don't retire for a year just to get out of a suspension. I believe the NFL went through something very, very similar with a certain quarterback that was drafted in the supplemental draft by the Oakland Raiders, who came from the most wretched, disgusting college on the face of the planet, Ohio State. Yes, I'm talking about Terrell Pryor. You don't, just like the NFL told Terrell Pryor, you do not come to our league to avoid a suspension in another league. Manny Ramirez should not be allowed to retire to avoid a suspension in Major League Baseball and then come back and get only half that suspension. It's ridiculous. However bad of a move this is for Major League Baseball, this is a great opportunity for the Oakland A's with very little risk. They're paying Manny dirt cheap nothing compared to what he's made in the past. I mean, we're talking not in the millions, we're talking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, which by baseball terms is a lot lower than what Manny Ramirez would technically probably be worth. Here's the best part. If they don't think he's producing enough in spring training, they'll throw him out. They've got no obligation to keep him. So, this is a great move for the Oakland Athletics. The bad thing is, it's a horrible move for Major League Baseball and the commissioner's office. I do not agree with it in the slightest. When we come back, we're going to do something we've never done before here in the Red Zone. Yep, that's right. Gentlemen, and now apparently lady, start your engines. We're going to talk Daytona 500. You're in the Red Zone. What should it find? Welcome back. This is going to be a first. We didn't do it in Season 1. We didn't do it in Season 2. Season 3, we're doing a lot of things we didn't used to do. We're covering MLB. We're covering NHL. We're covering UFC and MMA. And we are most certainly covering NASCAR. Because why? Because it's NBA All-Star Weekend. Well, good luck, NBA, because you're going to be competing with the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, which always pulls great ratings. Before I get too far into this NASCAR talk, let's run down your top 10 starting positions for this Sunday's Sprint Cup race. Starting out in the pole position, my boy, Carl Edwards, product right here, the heart of the Midwest, right here in my home state, and the number 99 Fastenal Ford has got the pole. Greg Biffle and the number 16 3M Ford coming in second. Tony Stewart and the number 14 Office Depot Mobile One Chevy is going to start out in third, followed by Matt Kenseth and the number 17 Best Buy Ford, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the number 88 Diet Dew National Guard Chevy, Regan Smith and the number 78 Furniture Row CSX Chevy, Marcos Ambrose is going to start out in seventh, and the number 9 Stanley Ford. That's the second time I've tried to do that. Number 8. Very, very familiar sight both in the Daytona 500 and in the Winner's Circle and in the championship standings for the Sprint Cup is Jimmy Johnson, the number 48 Lowe's Chevy, Jeff Burton and the number 31 Caterpillar Chevy, and number 10 starting out is Elliott Sadler and the number 33 General Mills Kroger Chevy. This very interesting starting 10 here, because you'll notice there's only Ford and Chevy. There's no Toyotas. There are no Dodges in this lineup. Very, very interesting. My pick to win. This is the first race of the season. You got really nothing to pull on, so I got to be a homer, and I'm just going to say Carl Edwards to win the Daytona 500. May happen, may not happen. There's no real way to tell, as we saw last season when a rookie came out and won it. But that's the main thing. Of course, the biggest headline for this weekend is the fact that not only will she be racing in the Sprint Cup Daytona 500, but also in the Nationwide, she has the pole, and that is now total NASCAR driver Danica Patrick is kind of the headline of the week. So it's going to be very interesting to see how she does. Whew. Another one coming up. I swear Dana White spits these things out like I spit out gum. UFC, boom, 144. Time for my picks from the pit. Mark Hunt versus Chet Congo. Look, we saw against Frank Mir how overhyped Congo really is. I'm going with Hunt. I'm not a Congo fan. I think he's overrated. That's just the bottom line. I think he's one of the more overrated fighters in the UFC. Quentin Rampage Jackson versus Ryan Darth Bader. I'm going with Bader. I love Rampage, I really do, but I think anymore he's more Mr. T Jr. than he is Rampage. And that's a horrible thing to say. It's essentially saying he's gone Hollywood, but Rampage hasn't shown me what he used to be. And he really needs that killer instinct back, that viciousness, that hunger that he had earlier in his career. And that's what he's really lacking right now to me. A lot of people disagree with me on that. Like I never make any bones about the fact this show is all about opinion. I have mine. As far as I'm concerned, I'm right, and anybody who disagrees with me is wrong. But that's pretty much how these shows go. Then Frankie the Answer Edgar versus Benson Smooth Henderson. That's the main event, which honestly, to me, Jackson and Bader should probably be the main event, in my opinion. But I'm going with Henderson. He's good. He's got a good ground and pound. Edgar's cardio is not going to matter when he's on his back getting pummeled. Okay, yeah, he's got decent wrestling ability, but Henderson's got excellent ground and pound, and that's to me, when you've got somebody locked up in that cage, if you can get them on the ground, get their head pinned against that cage, and just beat the snot out of them, chances are you're probably going to win. That's just the way it is. So, those are my picks this week. Hunt, Bader, Henderson. So, there's my UFC 144 picks. I imagine on the Facebook page, Cliff Conquest is going to have something to say about that when this gets posted, but he always does when I talk UFC, and that's why I like him. When we come back, it's time for 4th and goal. You're in the red zone.
Hey, brother. How you doing, brother? Hey. Hello out there, America. How's it going again? Now, so far you've been enthralled in watching my man, the Trouble Zone, on his show, Trouble Zone, every Saturdays, noon. He's there. He's doing his thing.
Great show. Check.
He knows sports, and he's a good dude. But us, me and you, we're bad dudes. Bad dudes. Little edgier, little saltier, but we still know our sports. For G-Spot, Johnny V, we are Watu TV. Damn. You're going to see all the flashing doodads and YouTube and Facebook. When you're done watching his show, when you're done checking Trouble out, he may be the Trouble Zone, but if you want real trouble, you know where to find it right here. With us two, right? When you're done with the good dude, coming over to the bad dudes. Coming over, check us out. Then watch one of ours. Laugh, cry, shed a tear, call your mom, get a newspaper, wipe your backside. Doesn't matter. You go back to Trouble, watch one of his, get your entertainment, great, come back over to what to. It's one big smorgasbord, one happy orgy of sports entertainment, only brought to you by the boys from What To TV and Trouble Zone. Subscribe to us.
Subscriptions? All I got is Johnny Walker Taste of the Monk Club, man.
We're talking subscriptions, TV Guide, Newsweek, What To TV, Entertainment Weekly, Trouble Zone. Put it in your life. Let it get in you. Let it get in you. Check us out. Deal with it. Love it.
Can't even say shoot, man. All right.
Welcome back. It's time for 4th and goal, and this is a 4th and goal many people wouldn't have expected out of me. One, because it deals with something in the NBA, soccer on hardwood, and Tim Tebow. Look, there's a lot of comparisons going on right now between the Linsanity story and the Tebow Mania story. Look, these guys aren't even comparable. Okay? For one, Jeremy Lin can actually play the sport he's in the position he's in. Tebow can't do that. I've said that since day one. Here's the thing, though. They're not comparable. Period. Tebow came in as a proven winner in the SEC, yada yada yada, whatever. Jeremy Lin's from Harvard. He's a professional athlete who went to school at Harvard. Harvard. Okay? There's like maybe one a century that comes out of Harvard. So, I mean, totally different backgrounds. It's not comparable. So, people, stop trying to compare it. People have asked me which I think is the bigger story, which story I prefer. I think both are incredibly annoying, but Tebow Mania is still my favorite of the two. Linsanity has caused, and you all know how I feel about the race card. And okay, somebody at ESPN, I'm not going to name any names, you all know who I'm talking about, made a comment about Jeremy Lin finding a chink in another team's armor. And he gets ripped on it. That's the term, folks. I guarantee you he didn't mean it in a racially insensitive way. That's the term. Are we not allowed to use words anymore? Are words illegal and banned now? Is that the way that we live in this world? That we're not allowed to say things, especially terms that have been around for centuries, like chink in the armor? Seriously, folks. Chink in the armor, and I've now said it 3 or 4 times, so, go ahead and ban me. Go ahead and put the black box over my mouth and beat me out. But the fact is, it's not a racially insensitive term. That's the freaking term. Period. It's just ridiculous. And of course, he gets ripped and has to make apologies and stuff. It's just ridiculous. The mothership, ETPN, is just ridiculous when it comes to this garbage. But to me, Tebow Mania is the better story because it feeds me. Okay? I don't like Tim Tebow as a player. I like Tim Tebow as a news story because nobody creates more controversy, more arguments, and more in-depth, heated discussion, which feeds this show, than anybody else. Tebow feeds my show. Tebow puts your eyes on that screen, on this bald head, to hear what I am going to say about his punk little, this punk little twerp next. Okay? But don't compare Linsanity to Tebow Mania. For one, yeah, Jeremy Lin can play the position he's at, Tebow can't, but Tebow's at least in a real sport, folks. He's not playing soccer on hardwood. And that's as close as I'm going to get to ever giving Tim Tebow a compliment. For myself, my crew, my boys over at Watu, I am the Trouble Zone. This has been the Red Zone. Zone out.
You know who your daddy is.